Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of News 22. I'm Lauren Zenzi.
And I'm Molly Martin. After a building explosion in an East Harlem neighborhood of Manhattan yesterday, 2 people are dead, 16 are injured, and many are still missing. Sources say the explosion happened around 9:40 a.m. around 116th Street and Park Avenue. Calls were reported around 9:13 a.m. saying that the area smelled like natural gas. The cause of the explosion and the collapse of other buildings is still unknown, but the case is being treated as a gas explosion, not a terrorist attack.
Connecticut has 2 confirmed cases of the measles in Fairfield County, according to a spokesperson for the State Department of Public Health. The department spokesperson, Bill Jarish, said that one patient is an adult and the other is an infant. The cases are not related and their origins are unknown. The incubation period for measles is 14 days on average. Measles cases are considered contagious from 4 days before the rash develops until 4 days after the rash develops and goes away. Symptoms of measles included developing rash all over the body as well as a fever, cough and runny nose, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Children are highly susceptible to receiving the disease as well.
Have you ever heard of the so-called knockout game? Well, if you have, Connecticut lawmakers are now considering a bill that would increase criminal penalties for these kinds of sucker punch attacks. The General Assembly's Public Safety Committee would make the knockout game assault a Class D felony. It is the least serious felony, punishable by 1 to 5 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. In most recent reported cases of this attack, teenagers have been responsible, and lawmakers want to be able to charge anyone over 16 as an adult. People that induce in such attacks attempt to knock out random victims with a single punch and often place videos of the attacks online.
Students for Life, a high school club at Branford High School, is currently dealing with the school in regards to their First Amendment rights. Apparently, the club wanted to set up a pro-life display at school and hand out flyers during lunch, but the principal would not allow it, saying that the display was too controversial. President Sam Bailey Loomis says, "Regardless of our speech, whether it's pro-life or pro-choice, whatever viewpoint, we still have a right to distribute. It's our First Amendment right. The issue is taken to the Alliance Defending Freedom group, who sent the school a legal letter. Unfortunately, the school has still not yet responded."
And we'll be back with this week's editorial after this short break.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she's the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
Welcome back, and now for this week's editorial.
Good evening, I'm Brian Frankovich with tonight's editorial. Let's talk Eastern dining. Have you guys been to Hurley lately? It's probably the most inconsistent place I've ever been. Some days the food is like pretty good, but other days it's like, is that mashed potatoes or like wet flour? Another thing, some nights you have very obvious entrees for dinner. Other nights it's like side dish city. Dry rice, flavorless green beans, the floury potatoes, and you would think there might be chicken or something, but nope. They either ran out or there just was none. So you get to enjoy some overcooked leftover meat, ground up and mixed in with cheese and tater tots. I'm not making this up, we see it all the time. It's like you can tell when the staff's in a good mood because the food is actually not bad. I just wish they would either be consistently good or just be bad, because when you throw in a decent meal every few days, it makes us very indecisive if every single day on whether we should even make the trip over there or not. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've heard say, I wonder if Hurley's any good today. Also, let's just talk about the name. I mean, it's something everyone's wondered about, but I'd like to ask why anyone thought it was okay to name a dining hall anything that contains a synonym for vomiting. I mean, if the food was like amazing, it wouldn't matter, but the food is very not great. So let's rename Hurley to something less nasty, like, I don't know, Shirley Hall. That's cute. Or like Pat and Pauline's Restaurante. But anyway, my message is this. Hurley needs to step it up with the food because some of us are paying $5,000 a year for a meal plan. And it's called a meal plan, not a leftover mushy side dish plan. What they need to do is follow my 3-step plan to fix it. Step 1, fix. Step 2, it. Step 3, fix it. And start giving us what we're paying for, Hurley. For News 22, I'm Brian Frankovich.
You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Jangan awal.
This song was created with heartbeats of children in need. Find out how it can help frontline health workers bring hope to millions of children at everybeatmatters.org.
That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
The Best Buddies Club will be hosting their first annual dance-a-thon on Saturday, April 5th from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. This event will take place in the Student Center Betty Tipton Room, and 100% of the proceeds will go to Best Buddies Connecticut in support of their 58 chapters across the state, along with new ones they plan on opening. The event will be $10 per person and will include food, prizes, and lots of dancing. For more information, email bestbuddies@my.easternct.edu.
Are you a baseball fan looking to attend a Yankee Red Sox game this season? You're in luck. Campus Activity Board has put together a trip to go to Yankee Stadium on April 12th to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox. Tickets will go on sale on March 31st at 9 o'clock a.m. in the Student Center desk and are only $20. This event is only open to Eastern students though, but you must have a student ID when you purchase this ticket and on the day of the trip. For additional information, visit the sports coordinator, Gabby Palladino, in the CAB office, located on the lower level of the Student Center.
Do you like the Hunger Games trilogy? Do you like giving back to your community? Do you like fun and games? Then the Warriors Game is the event for you. Campus Activity Board is hosting the first annual Warriors Game on March 29th on Webb Lawn, and the games will commence at 3 o'clock p.m. Each residence hall will put together a team of 8 to 14 students and will compete against the others for the title of Eastern's victor. Prior to the games, each hall will be collecting canned food items and clothing items for the shelters and food pantries in the Willimantic and Wyndham area. All donations will be divided among establishments in need. The games for this event will include s'more stacking, sack races, camouflage painting, a photo scavenger hunt, a water balloon toss, and many more. The prizes include Mockingjay buttons for all participants, a pizza party for the winning hall, and a Kindle Fire gift pack for one of the lucky winners. All you have to do is sign up at your hall's front desk. May the odds be ever in your hall's favor.
The Laramie Project is a breathtaking theater collage that explores the depths to which humanity can sink and the heights of compassion of which we are capable. The story? In October 1998, a 21-year-old student at the University of Wyoming was kidnapped, severely beaten, and left to die. He was tied to a fence in the middle of the prairie outside Laramie, Wyoming. His body was not discovered until the next day and died several days later in the area hospital. His name was Matthew Shepard, and he was the victim of this assault because he was gay. Moises Kaufman and the Tectonic Theater Project have constructed a deeply moving theatrical experience from personal interviews they conducted and their own experiences to show this horrific event. The play will be held in the Harry Hope Theater from April 24th to 27th, Thursday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m., Friday midday matinee at 11 a.m., and Sunday at 4 p.m. Tickets are $5 for students in groups of 10 or more, $10 for ECSU faculty, staff, alumni, and senior citizens, and $12 for the general public.
Last week, News 22 reporter Lauren Zenzi and shooter Matt Hesterberg went to Central Connecticut State University for the presidential speech.
Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, where Barack Obama will soon take the stage.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
After the singing of the national anthem and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, Connecticut Governor Dan Malloy opened with a short speech and the introduction of the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Throughout the speech, President Obama touched on the topic of raising the federal minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. President Obama was joined by the governors of New England, who all strongly support raising the federal minimum wage in order for these workers to better care for their family.
We are here today. We're here today because each of us cares deeply about creating new jobs and new opportunities for all Americans. And we're at this interesting moment in our economy. Our economy has been growing. Our businesses have created 8.5 million new jobs over the past 4 years. The unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in over 5 years. Those are all things that we should be proud of. But there are some trends out there that have been battering the middle class for a long, long time, well before this great recession hit. And in some ways, some of those trends have gotten worse, not better. You know, the nature of today's economy with technology and globalization means that there are folks at the top who are doing better than ever, but average wages have barely budged. Average incomes have not gone up. Too many Americans are working harder than ever just to keep up. So as I said at my State of the Union address, we've got to reverse those trends. It is a central task for all of us to build an economy that works for everybody, not just for some.
During President Obama's speech, he told the story of Connecticut business owner Doug Wade, who has always paid his employees a higher hourly wage. Although a Republican, Wade supports Obama's movement to raise the federal minimum wage. We caught up with Doug Wade after the presidential speech.
Just because I'm passionate about this, I worked for the minimum wage in 1970, which I shared with the president, and that was real fun because he goes, I work for the minimum wage too, and he did, so that was wonderful. So what has Wade's done? I've gone up to Hartford. We had an ice cream social up in Hartford for the legislators last year, and I've been up a couple of times to submit testimony.
From Central Connecticut State University, I'm Lauren Zenzi. See you next time.
What a great topic for President Obama to talk, especially at a college university. Thanks, Lauren and Matt.
Eastern Connecticut State University's Arts and Lecture Series will present Madeleine Albright, the 64th Secretary of the United States. She will speak in the Francis E. Geisler Gymnasium at 7 to 9 p.m. on March 28th, where she will speak about economy and security in the 21st century. As Secretary of State, she has reinforced America's alliances, advocated for democracy and human rights, and promoted American trade, business, labor, and environmental standards abroad. The event is free and open to the public, and remember, Eastern students to check it out after spring break.
And we'll be back with this week's sports after this short break.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Come on, we'll have a good time.
Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic.
To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall.
Can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Packers. Vikings. Packers. Viking. Packers.
Red state, blue state, vegan,
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
downtown, night owl,
Early bird.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
And we're back with this week's sports.
I'm Brian Dosser with this week's sports update. The Eastern Women's Lacrosse team is off to an 0-4 start as they lost this past Saturday to Tufts and this past Tuesday to MIT. Saturday was the Lady Warriors' first home game. They looked to get back on track. However, they had a hard time getting the ball into the offensive zone and lost 18-3, putting only 5 shots on goal. Eastern lost 8 of their 12 starters from their LEC championship team last year, and with 10 freshmen, they have to do a lot of work to find their stride this season. Senior captains Ashley Wolk and Aaron Kahn each had goals, while freshman Paige Snyder had 1 goal as well. Eastern then went on the road to play MIT and lost 17-6. Progression is showing, however, as Eastern was able to get some offense going, putting 20 shots on net. Senior Aaron Kahn had 4 goals on the day, which put her season total to 7. The Warriors take on Salve Regina this Friday night, and although they've gotten off to a slow start, you can never count them out, because after last season's LEC Cinderella team, anything can happen. After Eastern's men's lacrosse team got off to a hot 2-0 start, they have since dropped their last 2 games. Last Saturday, they played Endicott College, who was ranked 12th nationally, and fell hard 10-3. Eastern's on the road to a three-peat of the LEC tournament, and coach Justin Axel wanted to challenge the team early with a tough schedule. Endicott's letter-winning sophomore goalie Cameron Bell had some terrific saves against some of the Eastern's chances. However, the Warriors were unable to capitalize. Faceoffs were a big issue for the Warriors, as Endicott won 14 out of 17 faceoffs and dominated time possession. Eastern's next opponent was ninth-ranked Amherst College, as they looked to rebound from the Endicott game. However, again, Eastern fell as Amherst scored at will, winning 17-1. Again, the faceoffs were an issue, as the Amherst Jeffs won 19 of 22 faceoff, which resulted in 38 shots on goal. Eastern will look to rebound as the Warriors take on Cortland State for the first time on the road. Good luck, Warriors. This past Tuesday marked the opening of free agency in the NFL, and boy, were there some interesting moves to say the least. Some veterans like former defensive lineman DeMarcus Ware was released, as was Darrelle Revis by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Revis was not a free agent for long, however, as he signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots, while Ware has already signed with the Denver Broncos. Also signing with the Broncos was Aqib Talib. Sorry, Patriots fans, but that's a tough one to swallow. Former Buffalo Bills cornerback Jarius Byrd signed a 6-year deal with the New Orleans Saints. And lastly, the Cleveland Browns released their 2 quarterbacks, Brandon Weeden and Jason Campbell. Could Johnny Manziel up in Cleveland? Only time will tell if these deals will work out for these teams. Now we move to the NHL with some scary news. Dallas Stars forward Rich Peverley collapsed on the bench this past Monday in a game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Peverley, 31, will not play the rest of the season, as he will undergo a procedure aimed at regulating his heart rate. Everyone here at TV22 wishes Peverley a healthy and speedy recovery. That's all for sports. I'm Brian Dowser for News 22. See you after spring break.
Thanks for watching News 22. If you want to see any of our past shows, go to YouTube and search for the TV22 channel. I'm Lauren Zenzi.
And I'm Molly Martin.
Have a fun and safe spring break, Eastern.